and there was so much rebellion against this strict society, which I was grateful for as a kid because I didn't have to do it, but I would have. It's just too much, all this change and being perfect. Like, I am a faithful person, that's why I don't have ethical problems, but and there are the good spiritual ones. That was what I was seeking. Like, where are those people that I look up to on the ground, like humans? And I found them. I found them. I forever and like bit by bit. And like I've never visited those places. Like sometimes they are part of cities, sometimes they have big farms, some are even sick. Sometimes like, oh, but that's not in my book. But you have to be mindful. But you can live like outcast. There was a time where I just wanted to live like as an outcast. Um, and I found the places and I never did it. But I was never close to actually living there forever. I was just thinking, oh, one summer, I'm just gonna take this time out, and but I never really needed it. I just went back to the city and I did a program for my mental health, and it was hard. It was terribly hard. But I learned about myself, and I got to meet myself in real darkness, and I found help. A man that I'm not talking to anymore. Yeah, people did show up. I did find that. It did manifest in my life. Like, I've been longing for that after like finding the spiritual hippie, the rebel that created this society where like I could be more free than I would have been without them. And like I visited these hippies on a farm again years after, and I stayed just very shortly because I was not well, and they just sensed it so deeply that I did not want to bother them. And I've never visited again because they are really critical of women who don't birth children. Like, there's something in them that they don't want to. Like, they have no respect for women who don't just birth young. And I'm like 40, I've not birthed a kid, so I kind of don't want to be judged. I don't know, they're good. I know the kids are grown up and they were homeschooling, which was cool to see. It's progressing. Then we had like the month I stayed, we had this homeschooling reunion where people came and I could ask them because I was like fully bulletproofing this whole concept because I did not want to be schooling my kids, so I was trying to find a way in this country or Europe to have happy children. Like, I didn't want to bother them with 20 years of super stupid school education because I've never liked school, even though I love learning, and I thrived in university because the quality was appropriate for the century. And like, yeah, I did find it. I love them. They have an NGO that connects them. Like, obviously, people who founded it, they're already out of schooling. So there is support, and like nobody really experienced hatred from the government or anything. They were not outcast. They had to do this exam, and they knew from district to district. This is a strict like person who does the exams with them, or that's somebody who is very easygoing, so they just were fully prepared and they asked for what they needed and then they found a compromise. So I knew I'm not rebelling against forces who hate what I do, so they were open to homeschooling anyways. And like I'm very educated, and I learned about books like John Holt, How Children Learn. I get it so deeply. I work with kids a lot, like not in schools, but in school camps, holiday camps, and like hotel animation, and in the forest kindergarten for a whole year. And like that really helped me out of this rut that I was in after this mental health program and this breakup. The kids were the nicest. They made fire in the morning. They climbed on the trees. They um were like shoveling the snow. Like they were full on busy with nature and forest. It was just so cute and normal to see. Like also not very hippie-esque, but a little bit alternative path. But actually, it's just a different quality of childcare because people were not at all um against anything. That's just people who like nature photographers kids, or like somebody who works for a nature protection NGO, or like they just invested that extra money in Happy Kid and also regulated nervous system, so it does really help being outdoors so much with them. And they can be loud and they can be knocking on a tree. Like I don't need to control 100 kids in like a little flat like size of group, which in Vienna that would be. So I had the privilege to find a little bit my path as the human and future parent that I want to be. And yeah, I'm happy that I always listened to my heart and followed on the path that my heart needed. Like I needed to meet people who are a little different. They are not like you see on TV, like the authentic living ones. They're a little bit far retreating once the outback ones in country like this is not very, but yeah. I needed those type of secluded people to see, is it better or is it the same? And I found out that it's actually quite the same. So you can stay quite close as a family and still feel integrated. Like they did not hate the society, they did not hate the officers, they just were critical, and all of them always were overwhelmed by their past and the violence. And that's exactly a story in my family too. I felt very connected to that story. And then like just having the kids in the forest kindergarten, seeing them grow up literally in front of my face, being needed brings you back. Like if you're suffering with like depression, for me that helped so much. There were 3-year-olds cold in minus 15 degrees, and it just needed comfort, needed hot tea. You had no time to be hating on yourself, and so it just gave my brain something more important than being depressed. So I found back to the joy, like just in a few months. My heart felt better, and like I've overcame the loss and depression as well. And we had a really lovely rest of the year, and I managed. Sometimes I had to bike up there, and I managed. One time, a friend in Vienna, she gave me her car. I kept it, could keep it for like 3 months. I could have it, and it was an absolute disaster of a car. Like real old, and like twice it did not start. Like I needed the auto repair card, and yeah. And I came a little late, but I was extra, like I was on top, like they did not pay me. It came from this mental health program. They paid that in the beginning, and then after I stayed for like only 10 hours a week, which was absolutely amazing that could have happened. And yeah, it gave me a sense of um, worth back, because I lost that somewhere in my life, busy with being practical and following whatever was requested, I lost this sense of worthiness. And I found it slowly, with just this experience of following what was most important to me, was this little adventurous tribe. And then, yeah, this adventure kids, like I've also been happiest in nature and in the lakes and free. And then after that, was over this crisis in my life. Like, we as the generation is said to have had a quarter life crisis, and I can only say that it's not easy to integrate in this society after like 20 years of schooling. It's quite overwhelming. So I don't want that for my children, but I know we have a good base, like it's welcome. I read books. I've went to like André Stern in event with a friend back then. We were so young. We were so young. But those were really good times. And so I learned my life lessons, which is to listen to your instinct and intuition, because the quality of schooling, for example, in Vienna is below what is allowed actually. It's a bad. It's like teachers are. I'm so sorry for teachers, as well as school director. I'm feeling so sorry, man. And kids go to private school now because the public schools are crowded, and it's disastrous now, the quality of schooling, free schooling. So I really don't want them in a private school context. Like, I want them. I'm not a friend of school anyways, but my instinct was just right. And I just know so many people who thrive with that homeschooling stuff. And like, I've seen all the videos, I've seen people on Hawaii, how they do it. Like, I've been really interested. Like, it's not research, it's just a hobby. And like, yeah. And there's another book that I want to read from John Holt about the how children fail, which is interesting because obviously failure is a big lesson in life. And is it failure if you learn from it? Then it's not failure, then it's learning. And so I was fully investigative around, is this worth living? Coming with severe trauma that was facing my life, that was not easy. But people just, I asked, and people just answered yes. Yes, what are she talking about? Like, okay, and I was like, okay, it's just my brain then. And it was just my brain, and then it shifted, like, with that extra time in the forest, and then this kind of natural surrounding with them, this just 10 or 15. It was not 100 kids, it was just 15 kids, like 3 kindergarteners and and we had a nice time. And then I don't know, it just was for something also for my inner child that I loved. In winter you go sledding just up the hill, and then I loved having the car, and I found it very nice for my friend, and she helped me and with the car. And then it was just exactly the crowd that was far away from the society, and I needed a break. After studying and knowing what all disaster they cause, I didn't want to see those people, and I didn't. Did not spend lots of time with them, and found happiness on the hill with the forest kindergarten. And then moved on to like vegan potluck that I wanted to join. It was new in my country. Or like I went vegan, which was also important for me to heal my body from few. Like, I could not eat milk or pork. Really wasn't really great for my body. Then I wanted to see, can I live from just plant. Then the animals were on my mind too, like making up for all that people ignored for balance in nature and earth, and overall just did not spend lots of money, and just, yeah. Learn to be happy with little bits. Just like those people that I met on the farm, the old hippies, they also lived that. And I was happy. I knew you can be happy. You just hate cooking. And yeah, and this whole decade is about learning to persevere. It's still my path, but I feel like lots is flooding in that's not mine. Like people are full on baggage. They don't burden you, they are baggaging you. So I stayed sane by being insane quite early in my life. Like just get literally I had so much doubt. I gave in and I never won. Like I lived the quarter life crisis and I learned I learned to love myself. Just how I am. Like there's the whole psychological training around it too. And this boyfriend. And then how the kids like they were so happy that you helped them and I'm a helper. I love helping. And then they were nice and we were reading. I was like, oh goodness, somebody loves reading too. Like it's good for your inner children. They help you remember that you are also been this little free spirit once. So and this decade is harder than the last one and I'm more happy because I had this doubting phase for an appropriate amount of time after what I've learned in university. And last year I've been on an Ayurveda farm and with this Gudrun Sjöden scarf that I just ordered. The last time I ordered it, when I was studying, like 2012. Before the crisis, I ordered a few bits from her because they were so beautiful and organic. At that time, we did not even have organic fashion. It was cool. Like it wasn't very pretty. It was just anything. It was my first organic clothing order, and I liked that. And mostly loved the scarf though. It's just such a nice smell and very nice fabric, and beautiful colors. So I really feel I should buy more of those with getting older. I think it's such a comforting, cozy texture, and it's also such a hippie style. It's just remembering those beautiful people. I hope they're well. I've asked them recently, but I should. And then I just ordered this butterfly scarf and the thyroid is represented with the butterfly. I lost it, and also a little bit this transformation in the last year was immense. Like I've grown so much. I've grown up immensely too. And that's where I really felt like I can hold that client in like suffering. I'm gonna do the grief coach even like I breathed through cancer scares, drank cacao, and managed to stay calm and also work. So I'm good. I'm excellent. So I just ordered this scarf and it reminds me of the beginning of this quest because I was at the end of my study program. I had half a year writing my bachelor thesis. I was already face full of doubt. Severe doubting, all this stuff. Not my program so much, but everything else. And it's kind of painful because I've been raised to perform and become, and then all I've become was doubt walking for years. And depression, and like I did not feel like it was worth it, like all this extra work. And I just think it's so right that I've been doubting. I'm so sad that the depression got me so bad. And I feel like it was an absolute miracle that I survived that, and I finally healed. I never thought this would happen. I was 23 in my friend's apartment. She had this apartment over the rooftops of the city, and I was looking out and back to her, and I was like, yeah, there's this blackness. All I'm feeling is like there's black, and I feel like I need to give in and explore what it is. And she said, yeah, maybe you should do that. And then I did eventually, and it was a drama, and it was hard and rough, and 100 times I wished I did not need to go through all this darkness. But then I survived. Like I'm not carrying this through my whole life, you know. I didn't find a society that was worth living through all these expectations with this trauma and this emotional